You know what grinds my gears? That some wrestling companies in Canada call themselves something or other Canadian wrestling. Like this is Ontario company, which I've seen clips of. They're pretty good wrestlers out there, but they call their wrestling company Great Canadian Wrestling, and it's based in Ontario. I think it's got to be a little bit of narcissism right there for Ontario. Sure, some of the greatest wrestlers are from Ontario, but not the wrestling families. Like in Quebec, they had the Fauchons and the Rougeaus. Out Western Canada, out in Western Canada, like in Alberta, they had the Hart family. Why in the hell does these Ontario people call their wrestling company the Great Canadian Wrestling? It should be the Great Ontario Wrestling, because that's what they do. They wrestle in Ontario, and it's great wrestling. But if it's have a nice chain of that company, like have one in British Columbia, one in Alberta, and whatnot, then we can have every December have all the world champions and all the champions in each great Canadian wrestling companies from each province, and one champion from great Canadian wrestling territories like Yukon, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut, go into Toronto for one Uber festival event, and have who is the better representative, which section of Canada is the better wrestling section, like and also have a tournament, battle royal, and have anything that related to wrestling. For example, if you have for the battle royal, after say the last 8 people in the battle royal are still wrestling, after we have 8 wrestlers left. After that, why not have the 8 seeds and a tournament happen? After you get eliminated, if you're 8th person eliminated, after when you have 8 people left, you gotta face the winners championship. That battle royal. 7th will face the 2nd, last person eliminated, and so forth until you have the seeds happen. And then you have those 8 seeds be in a tournament, and the winner can see that they are the best wrestler in Canada outside the NWA. And it'll happen for the tag teams, and maybe the light heavyweights and all the female wrestlers as well. And as a die-hard wrestling fan, I like to see maybe an entire event of all Canadian wrestlers from Canada do something like the Kumite from Bloodsport. But instead of like that MMA style, why not have I don't know. I'll go hardcore rules. Do something creative in those matches, like I don't know, like a barbed wire, thumbtack, baseball bat, or use something that you brought from home, or bought from a Home Hardware or Home Depot, or hell, if the fans bring the weapons, use the weapons that those creative motherfuckers brought with them. And I recommend watching Best of Deathmatch Wrestling Volume 6, the Double Death Tag Team Tournament, which is pretty creative. And as a die-hard wrestling fan, I like to see more than what the WWE and TNA is doing. Why not bring it back to the old days of wrestling. Have grade A wrestling. Have, oh, I don't know. Have America versus Canada versus England versus Mexico versus the Caribbean versus Japan. Have an entire tournament saying which country is the better wrestler. And hell, I heard about this one deathmatch tournament in Japan, that in the finals they had two Americans going at it, and believe it or not, one of them is in the Hall of Fame now. And another wrestler in that tournament is from India. I forgot his name, but he was. And there was, in that tournament, there was Mick Foley when he was Cactus Jack, Terry Funk when he was just middle-aged and crazy. Now Terry Funk is old and fucking nuts. And as a wrestling fan, I like to see deathmatch wrestling once in a while, but I like to see old school wrestling, like their times in 1970s. Heck, I want to see. Back in the day, I saw this one clip from Piper's Pit, and it was Piper interviewing on Piper's Pit the legendary Bruno Sammartino in the middle of the ring, and Bruno Sammartino gave Roddy Piper a lesson in respect and how to be a man. And like I said, I talk about all these 7 countries have tournament. I know this one company based in Philadelphia named Chikara Pro, which is an awesome real wrestling company out there. Every year they have 3 different tournaments. One is the King of Trios, which it's a tournament for 6-man tag team matches. It goes over all weekend for 1 month. Then they have another tournament, the Young Lions Cup, which to expose all these young talents from around the world, from Mexico, Japan, the West Coast, the East Coast, Canada. Hell, there was an ECW wrestler out there that went out into Chikara Pro. Kyle O'Reilly, one hell of a wrestler. Didn't make it past the first round, but now he works for Ring of Honor. And Chikara Pro has this endurance type match, which is really going to be one winner instead of having an entire team win like the Survivor Series, which the WWE has. It combines the Survivor Series with an endurance match and they call it there's Cybernetico, which you can have 2 hand-picked teams of 2 captains, and it's gonna be like a tournament and an endurance match into one. So check out Chikara Pro, and also there's this one wrestling company out in Philadelphia as well named Combat Zone Wrestling. They have wrestling, actual regular wrestling, and their deathmatch wrestling. And hell, every year they have their Tournament of Death, which is pretty creative. And also they have their year-end Cage of Death, which at the end of the night they have 3 events, 3 major death matches, cage matches, and well, believe it or not, in those cage matches, anything can happen. Hell, there's weapons, and hell, there could be a scaffold match, hardcore match, hell, a light tube match, any kind of match going. And hell, I seen one guy moonsault off the top of the Cage of Death with a trash can on him, and he stole the fucking show. And I recommend watching the Best of Deathmatch Wrestling Volume 2, which is all about CZW. And maybe next week, when I have time, I'll talk about the different styles of wrestling I respect. I'll see you next week or this Saturday. Peace.